What's up, everybody? It's your boy Sega Man back here with another game talk with Sega Man. I should have add my banner, huh? And add my banner. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, everybody? This is called Xbox for Life game talk with Sega Man today. We're gonna talk anything and everything about Xbox. You know what I'm saying? What they're bringing. You know what I'm saying? What you guys are playing right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, just hey, anything that you guys want to, you know, there's the banner. You know what I'm saying? What's up? What's up? You know what I mean? Got two people in the chat room right now. What's up? What's up with you? Sega Man. Hey, man, this is called Xbox for Life. You know what I'm saying? I hope all the Xbox brothers come in and join me today and just chop it up, talking anything about gaming. You know what I'm saying? Anything about Xbox. All out Xbox today. You know what y'all been playing. You know what y'all excited for, what's coming down the road in the future for Xbox. You know what I'm saying? It's a little late. It's going on 4 o'clock. I don't have a Pacific time, guys, that I do this. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to all the Xbox brothers out there that rock out with your boy Sega Man. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I gave a little invite to Hebot. Hopefully, if I hear from him, he might come in. And he told me, let's see, me a little. You can give me a little. Let me- Yeah, man, I'm gonna try to get him in here. I think he's busy right now. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. So I'm gonna try to get him in here. But what's going on, everybody? Hope y'all enjoying the weekend. You know what I'm saying? I've been playing a lot of great games. I downloaded some. Bought some good games. They had a little sale this week, so I bought a few games. Some of them were indie games I never heard of. This real cool shooter, man. Let me look it up here real quick. There's this real cool shooter on here that bypassed me. You know what I'm saying? That I actually bought. You know, this week. I can't remember. Oh yeah, and I downloaded the Yakuza's, man. Yakuza 5, 4, and 3. I didn't even start playing them yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be starting to probably play them this upcoming week. You know what I mean? See what's up with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be checking that out, you know. But everything's good here, man. You know what I'm saying? Uh yeah, I'm trying to see here my banners, my comments. You know what I'm saying? Here we go. Here we go. Matthew, what's up, Matthew? What's going on with you, G? Let me put Matthew up here. What's going on with you, homeboy? Just hanging out. Yeah, you know what? The original Xbox had some great Sega titles. You right about that, Big Matthew. What's up? Fatal in the house. What's up with you, homie? The Graphic God. Shouts out to the Graphic God. I'm gonna shout my boy the Graphic God out again, man. You need to go check out Graphic God, man. Everybody that's in here right now, rocking out with me, go check out the Graphic God. You know what I'm saying? His Retro Renegades. Check him out on YouTube. He does the best gamer picks in the gaming world. You dig what I'm saying? He did my gamer pick, the one you're looking at right now. You know what I'm saying? Looks just like me. You know what I'm saying? Looks like the dude from Streets of Rage, Adam. You know what I mean? Streets of Rage is one of my favorite, all-time favorite games. You know what I mean? My favorite out of the Streets of Rage series is probably Streets of Rage 2. I own it physically on the Sega Genesis, and I bought them on digitally on my Xbox. And check him out. He's also you can get a hold of Graphic God on Twitter. He'll hook you up. He'll run you through it. Give him some ideas if you want a gamer pick. If you're starting a podcast, you know what I'm saying. He does intros for your podcast. You know what I'm saying. You know? Yeah, and Graphic God says Sega is still my favorite company. Hey, same with me, brother. Same with me, brother. Graphic God. It's still my favorite, man. I'm rocking Xbox because of what we're doing now. You know what I'm saying? Uh, because Xbox reminds me of Sega. You know what I'm saying? I said that before in a video that, if you think about the original OG Xbox was actually the Dreamcast too, because a lot of great games. Look at this in the chat. My boy Matthew right here, just getting he talking to Graphic God right now. Maybe he's gonna get a gamer pick. You know what I'm saying? His prices are reasonable. You dig? There's 3 tiers. He'll work with you. You know what I mean? So uh hook him up. Graphic God will hook you up. You know what I'm saying? He does great work, Matthew. You know what I'm saying? He does great work, man. You know what I mean? He's the best out here. You know what I'm saying? So check him out. He'll talk to you, run you through it. You know what I mean? He does the best work on here, man. I've seen other gamer picks on here that people doing podcasts, and they look all right, but they're not as good. You know what I'm saying? What's up with Fatal? I had 30 games for the Dreamcast at one point. I haven't more fun with a console than I had with the Dreamcast. Man, it's a shame, Fatal, what happened to the Dreamcast, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I heard some kind of rumors. I don't know if it's true. You know how they brought out that I think it was called the Game Gear Mini, and you know how they brought out the Sega Genesis Mini. It would be nice if they would bring out a Dreamcast Mini. You know what I'm saying? If they brought a Saturn, Sega Saturn, which was also really good, and a Sega Dreamcast Mini, they would make cash money big time. Those would be the two biggest sellers if they were to bring them out right now. If they brought out like a Dreamcast Mini, you know what I'm saying, or a Sega Saturn Mini, that would be dope. You know what I mean? If they did that, you know what I'm saying? That would be really dope. All right, I'm gonna get my boy Hebot in here. Hold on, guys. Just give me a minute. Get my boy Hebot in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna invite Hebot real quick. Let me see if I can get my man Hebot in here. Let me see. I gotta send him an invite. See if I can get him in here real quick. Let me see. Hold on, guys. My boy Hebot. See if I can get him in here real quick. Let me see. Put my man Hebot. Hebot is very knowledgeable, guys. Uh, and when it comes to retro gaming and gaming today, so I'm gonna actually send Hebot uh the invite. I just sent it to him. You know what I'm saying? So he'll be probably popping in here. You know. Thanks for the 6 people that are rocking out with me today. Fatal. We got my boy. Let me see if I can say your name right, man. Let me shout you out. I think it's Calabrera. I can't say it, bruh. Cabrera. Shouts out to you anyways, man. Shouts out to you anyways for coming. You know what I'm saying? Oh, check him out. He got the two. He got the two guns like Hitman. You know what I'm saying? That's really cool. You know what I mean? Look like the two guns from Hitman with the two, the two scopes on there, the two silencers. You know what I mean? Shouts out to him. Thank you for joining me, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? This is gonna be a quick hangout, though, guys. It ain't gonna be too long. I don't want to be gone like 2 hours, maybe like an hour. You know, with heat body, I'm not too long. You know what I'm saying? Slick Slayer, what's up, my brother? Another cool brother out here in these gaming streets, Slick Slayer. You know what I'm saying? What's up with you, man? Really appreciate you coming by. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, we're gonna chop it up. When Hebot gets in here, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna chop it up too. If you guys want, we don't have to just talk. The title is Xbox for Life. We could talk about Xbox. I just had to think of a title. You know what I'm saying? I'm just happy with what's been going on this last week. With them making all that good gaming revenue, over 5 billion. You know what I'm saying? And it's just incredible what they're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? There's no, I just, hey, I'm happy, man. That goes back into gaming. You know what I'm saying? There's no telling what's going to be coming down the line. You know what I mean? Anything, man. Man, I'm telling you, I'm just happy. New legal. He just did a video yesterday. You know what I'm saying? There's my boy Hebot. Let's get Hebot in here. What's up with you, Hebot?
Hello.
What's up, brother Hebot?
Hey, brother, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Just doing a quick game talk with Sega, man. You know what I mean?
What was that?
I said I was doing a quick game talk and get you in here. You know what I'm saying? I got, Slick Slayers in here, Graphic God, a couple other people,
Nice.
you know? What's going on, man?
Give me one. I'm trying. No, I'm trying to fix it because I could hear you talking, but only to the phone and not inside the speakers of my headset. Now I can hear you though.
Uh, Can you hear me?
Just there, but yeah, I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Mic check, mic check. Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah, you sound great, like always.
Here
I
we
gotta
go.
get
Here
one
we
of those.
go.
I gotta get one of those HyperX things that you got.
Oh yeah.
Because I think the way they designed these, like the Snoop Dogg ones, even though they're very pricey,
Yeah.
I think they designed it where the idea where it works more when you're talking on the phone. As a mic was designed for you to speak on phone calls. Because when I'm on phone calls, everybody says it sound great, but when I do them on this podcast doing Streamyard, it almost sounds sometimes like I'm a little bit underwater or muffled for some odd reason. I don't know why, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yep.
You know. So.
So man, real quick, I seen you streaming doing a couple games.
I'm
You know
trying.
what I'm
I'm
saying?
trying. There's a lot of things that we're diving into. There's a lot of good stuff that came out. I was just playing Shadow, uh, Cyber Shadow, the new Ninja Gaiden esque type game that's on Game Pass. The one that's like the Messenger, like the
Yeah,
Ninja Gaiden from the NES. I was playing it last night. I was rocking. I got to like the third stage. I was rocking. That's home for me. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's so I'm very familiar with it. People be seeing me playing, they're like, "Damn, how you play that like that?" It's just second nature. It's home
yeah,
for me. Once you get used to, the Xbox was spiritual successor according to graphic. Yeah, to Dreamcast, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. As a matter of fact, with I think it was the Lundenberg. It was the technology and hardware on the Xbox OG, which originally that was the plan. It was going to be Dreamcast too. But then, they had, Sega of Japan didn't want to go about it. They didn't like the deal, I guess, because, their Xbox was American, things like that, as you know. And then Peter Moore got, in the middle of all that, got upset with them breaking their deal. And so he gave them an ultimatum. He's like, listen, look, you got to at least, give us something. And that's how that 12 or 14 game deal came to be for the OG Xbox. That's why games like, Jet Set Radio Future and Panzer Dragoon Orta are still, to this day exclusive on the OG. That was part of the whole deal. You got Shenmue 2. We had gotten, Headhunter, GT, Sega GT. Uh, Gun Valkyrie, another game that stayed exclusive there. Otagi 1 and 2 that stayed exclusive there. Um, uh, what else? Let me see what else. Otagi 1 and 2. Told you I'm in 3. There's a lot of exclusives from Sega that are just strictly on Xbox OG, which need to come back compat because the Otagi 1 and 2 is criminal that it's not back compat. Same thing with Turtle Jam and L3. That game was dope. It was so much fun in 3D and all that. So yeah. Graphic God, like always, because he's a pioneer himself, always speaking
yeah,
out the facts. That's just how it is, man. That's how all root gamers know what it is. The real root gamers, how the story went down. So Dreamcast was definitely going to be Dreamcast 2 that then turned into OG Xbox, which I think it worked out either way. I would have loved for it to have been Sega because I love Sega. Obviously, that was the true pioneers of the industry after Nintendo saved it, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
a lot of people don't want to hear that. Oh yeah, for real, Matthew, Joe Star. I agree, 100%. I think Dreamcast, even though
Yeah.
the hardware would have been a little bit inferior as time went on, I still think it would have just produced better games because it was just built better. It was a better constructed piece of hardware. And then you look at it, when you look DOA still looks better on the Dreamcast than it did on the PS2.
Yeah. It does. Honestly, I have them both. You played them?
Yeah, for a fact, firsthand, because you have them both. So do I. That's why I know. Same thing like Matthew Joestar, the Ferrari F-150. The one they did for PS2 gave you the option where you can put it on like a third-person view behind the camera of the car, because that was an arcade game. But if you played it on the Dreamcast and versus the PS2, even though that's a nice feature with the camera, it doesn't look nowhere near as good as Dreamcast. Same thing with Marvel vs. Capcom. There's just so many games on the Dreamcast that came to PS2 later on that were even GameCube, for example, that like Skies of Arcadia on GameCube that were ported over, and you still make the comparison to this day, even though you can't run them, natively, with an HDMI, you got to kind of get a converter. They still look better graphically, detail-wise, color-wise, everything. The fact that they're 60 frames, F-150 was 30 frames on the PS2. While on Dreamcast, it was 60. So, it's a testament of how powerful that motherboard was and that they implemented in the actual console itself. At such a sweet low price. That was the first console to give you high quality graphic power and silicone for a very affordable price. It was the Dreamcast, the very first one. Obviously now we had the Xbox One and the Xbox Series X and Series S that's doing the same exact thing. But back then, that was the first one because, we had Neo Geo, Panasonic, the 3DO Panasonic. Those machines were 600, there were 600, 700, 800 respectively in some countries.
Right.
I think in Canada, I believe Neo Geo was as high as $1,000 for what I've heard. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me if I'm wrong.
$1,000 he bought.
Yeah, it was expensive, man. So, that was the biggest downfall of it because nobody could really afford that at the time. That's why Dreamcast was so magical. It had the best lineup in history, over 18 games, and they were all diverse. And shortly after, had a bunch of games that came out right after the launch. Things like the Echo the Dolphin, things like sort of Berserk, like really quick, right, immediately quick. Soul Calibur looked better than the arcade. Oh yeah, Fatal, Conrad, yeah, absolutely. I think that would be the definite buy. And to be honest with you, I really do love the Dreamcast. It's probably one of my all-time favorite consoles. But my favorite all-time console of all time is Sega Saturn. But because of the fact that it was so underappreciated, so exposed, and it came out with all that controversy that was going on, where they didn't have the money to fight back with Sony because Sony was a entertainment giant that had so much money from the entertainment business and the electronic business that they just paid off everybody and mudslinged their way into the business and didn't care, right? Sega couldn't do that anymore. They were hemorrhaging too much money. And the Saturn is one of those consoles that had so many hidden gems, so many great games that people just never even knew about or never got a chance to even play them. And we just selected a few. And it's a shame. I mean, Saturn is probably my first favorite, and then Dreamcast is a close second of all time because of that. Because, so that's what were you talking about anyway, real quick, second before I jumped in?
No, we were just chopping it up. I was just asking, everybody in there in the chat what they're looking forward to. What the Xbox going forward.
Right.
New games that are coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We
Well,
just
this
got
year's
the
gonna be
Yakuza's
solid.
in there.
Yeah, man. This year with that Game Pass, it's gonna be solid, man. We got, Crossfire coming out this year. We just got Medium. We just got the Yakuza, which I haven't tried Medium, so I can't really speak on it. But I saw my son playing it. It looks absolutely gorgeous. That I know. I love the ambience. The music in it is very fucking top notch because it's from the composers or one of the original composers of the Silent Hill series. So those are, it's very fitting with the environment. Um, and it looks like really nice, like it plays really well. But I've been digging my feet and digging my fingers in deep with all the indie stuff that came out, from left, right. I've been playing Shing, the Balan, the World of Balan demo from Yuji Naka. It's
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. It is so Yuji Naka, so Sega, so retro style that you start off with something very simple.
What's it called, Heba?
That it's called The World of Balan. Balan. Balan.
Okay.
Like ballet. Almost like
Yeah.
ballet. It has a
Yeah.
very, very Nights into Dream type feel. A little bit of Sonic and a little bit of all his games. Dynamite Heady, Billy Hatchet, Super Monkey Ball. There's a little bit of sprinkle of Hitman 3. It looks gorgeous. I've seen that. Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
I heard it looks
I
really
haven't.
good.
I see E-Rock playing it. I haven't played it, but I heard a lot of good things so far. And it looks. I've seen people put a lot of on Twitter. You know how Conrad. They put a lot of pictures up. I've been seeing people putting pictures, and it looks insane. It looks really nice. But I got to try. I haven't tried it yet. I've been playing Jet Cave Adventures with the little caveman with the rocket. That
Yeah.
is very reminiscent to Rocket Knight Adventures and Ori mixed together. Awesome game, looks gorgeous. I tried out, like I said, Shadow Warrior, is it, or Shadow Ninja? What's it called? The new one?
Yeah, the new one on Game Pass. It looks like Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, but it's called Shadow Ninja or Shadow Borg. I forgot what it's called. Somebody in the chat, if you know the name, please let me know. It's called Shadow something, but I played that. The Balan demo is absolutely stunning. You start off with a very simplified game, and as you're getting into the world, opening them up,
Downloaded that now.
and you start discovering the different costumes. You start getting attributes and different powers where it allows you to explore and reach other parts of the world, and you start getting other stuff. But it's so beautiful. It looks so nice. The music is very Nights into Dreams for sure, also. And what else I was trying out? I gotta get into that Cobra Kai. I gotta see if we can play it together. I don't know if it's co-op though.
Yeah, Cobra Kai. Yeah, that's good.
I haven't checked. I need to play that co-op with you. I would like to, because it's a beat 'em up. Even Shing. Shing is dope. It's so nice. But I don't know if it's co-op. Again, I have to check if it has multiplayer online. I was thinking, Sega Man. Remember when we were talking about doing Retrobots sometime soon?
Yeah.
I think maybe one of the games that we can start off with, if of course, if you're up to it, if you want to.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think it still supports online. We should try and start it off with the Sega Saturn Guardian Heroes. The one that's back compatible with the Saturn, the beat 'em up.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Because I believe it's still co-op, even online, and online co-op, even on the Xbox Series X. I think with the backwards compatibility allows you to play it co-op also, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it would be a nice game for us to play in an episode of Retrobots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be.
I don't know how you feel about it. I was just thinking probably be nice.
Yeah, man, that would be sweet. We should play that. It was very expensive on the Saturn.
Woo! I remember when people discovered it because there wasn't a lot of the game made. A lot of copies weren't made because it was kind of like it was from Treasure. It was kind of like a secret, unexpected little gem that came out right after they did Gunstar Heroes. Remember Gunstar Heroes from the Genesis?
Yep.
And then people were like, oh, these are the people who did Gunstar Heroes. What? And then they discovered that game and they were like excited. So it wasn't a lot of copies made, I believe. So it became really hard. It became really hard and difficult to obtain the game and actually get a copy.
Yeah.
And obtain a game. So and now it's expensive. Yeah, if you want to get it like if you want to get like a nice if you want to get a nice hello. If you
I'm
want to
here.
get like a nice no, I was talking to my daughter. But sorry. Like if you want to
Oh,
get a nice if you
that
want to get
game.
like a nice new copy, mint on card on copy of the game,
Yeah.
you really have to pay top dollar for it. You know what I mean?
He bought that game called Cyber Shadow. That ninja game.
Oh, it's called Cyber Shadow. Okay,
Yep,
yeah,
that's
that's
it.
it. That's it. That's the one. You know
That's
who
a
did it,
good
right?
game too.
You know the people involved with it, right?
No, who's involved in it?
Those are the same people involved. Hi, Evelyn. That were involved with Shovel Knight.
Oh,
Remember
really?
the games? Yeah. That's why it has like that feel, kind of that flavor.
Shovel Knight was.
Those people. Yeah, you cut off. I can't hear you, so I don't know why.
I said Shovel Knight was addictive.
Oh, it's a fun game.
Yeah.
That was a pleasant surprise. It was fun. I thought it was a little pricey because of the graphics and stuff when I first saw it. It was like $20, I remember. Then I bought it on a sale, and then when I played it and got more in it, I was like, oh, I understand why they priced it at that price because it's actually a good quality game. It has a lot of good quality to it and fun. Gameplay is phenomenal. It's very addictive too.
And I downloaded. It's a unique game. I don't know if you tried it. He bought on Game Pass. It's called Donut Country.
What's it called?
It's called Donut Country.
Donut Country?
Yeah, it's this big hole. You gotta like swallow like buildings and shit. All kind of. It's really cool. Like it's an easy, laid back like game, and it's called Donut
Okay.
Country. It's really cool, man. And I actually think it looks like it was made by like I think a Native American or or something like that.
Oh, okay. I mean, it was like that game. I don't know if you ever stop it. Stop that. Disgusting. My cats over there licking each other's assholes. Gross. Fucking gross. Cat stop being fucking nasty. She's licking her butt. Anyway,
That's pretty.
sorry about that.
That's pretty gross, man. That's bad, man. That's pretty
bad.
gross.
That's bad. That's a no. Ooh.
Yeah, that's a big no there. Yeah.
So yeah, but you gotta teach them. They don't know any better, They're animals. They don't understand until you teach them, So like I was trying to say, yeah. So that sounds interesting. There was another one that shout out to. I'm gonna plug a channel because this guy is really a really nice guy. He's like us. He plays. He's a good friend of Ricardo. He's been meaning to get on YouTube for a while now, but he knows his stuff. He's a retroactive, very retro. Plays a lot of retro stuff. Really nice guy. His name is Lewis. His real name in real life, but his channel is called NES and Up. For the NES and Up, right? That's what he called it. And he played a game the other day, and he just started. So go, give him a quick look, and even subscribe if you like his stuff. Give him some support because he's up and coming. I remember how it was trying to get some type of attention. Oh yeah, the biggest Saturn Fire Pro Wrestling, man. That's oof. I played hours in that game, man, hours, and I imported that shit. I think day one. That shit was amazing. I love that game. That's a good one right there. That's the one that had hey Fatal. That's the one that had Wolf and Jeffrey from Virtual Fighter, right, as guest stars in it. Is that the one? Let me know because I can't remember. So he has a really good channel. He played this little game. Let me see if I can see the name of it. Give me a sec. I'm gonna look it up real quick because I was really digging it, and it looks dope. It looks fire. I don't know if it's on Game Pass.
What's it? What are you talking about? Which one?
I'm gonna tell you right now. Golden Force. It's called Golden Force.
That's on Game Pass?
I don't know if it's on Game Pass, but I saw him playing it, and he has no
Yeah.
commentary on it. But when you get a chance, go look at his channel. Maybe I could even
I
give you
went
a
I
link to
went to
put it
his
on your
channel.
description.
I went to his channel and it had somebody repairing an NES, but I don't think that's him.
No, you'll know because it's like kind of green and purple, the logo, and it says NES and up. It's nothing fancy, but you know it's him. But
Is
yeah,
it
but it
is
looks
it
good.
spelled N or is it just N?
No N with a capital NES,
Okay.
and then the way you write "and" is with the symbol, the "and" symbol, not
Okay.
the
All right.
word.
Yeah. Okay.
And you'll find it. You'll find it immediately. But that game, Golden Force, I got to check that out. That looks fire. That looks fire. He was telling me that he knows he can help out with a way of to like try to get review codes so that we can review them and even give one to give away when we do the review. I was like, yo, that'd be great. So he was gonna let me know about it. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, his that game that looks quite nice. That game.
Hey, Hebot. Hey, Hebot.
Yeah, that's gonna melt. Yeah, go ahead.
When you get a chance, link his video to me on my phone, and I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah. Maybe you could even put it in your description or whatever down below since we're talking about it.
Man, Fatal, man, he's putting in some good ass comments in here about the Dreamcast.
Have anyone remember the Dreamcast was one of the first consoles? I'm thinking, yeah, of course, the Dreamcast.
Yep. Typing
and
of the
Sega
dead.
and Sega in general, Fatal Sega, like the Master System back in the 80s and 87 was the first console to have, not only 3D gaming, but it also had, the converter to playback compatibilities with stuff that they had from their, Sega 1000 console, right? And they also had the light phaser. They had the 3D 8-way directional pad, that was implemented for the first time. They had the hockey rollerball that no one else had. That you could actually buy the peripheral, which is for the hockey game. They had so many things in that era that they brought out before anyone else in mainstream console. As far as a mainstream console that no one else did before, they were the first ones to actually implement it. Then with Genesis, they had backwards compatibility. That the Sega Master was the first console that supported the Hue cards, which was basically smaller independent games from smaller studios. So they were doing the indie game space scene way back when. At that point, they allowed things like crossplay with PC. Absolutely, you're absolutely right. I believe Alien Nation, was it, or not Alien? Alien Storm. Well, it was the one with the tanks when you were being invaded. I forget the name of the game,
With
but
the
I remember you had
tanks?
the mic. Yeah, it was tanks. It had the mic. It came with the mouse and stuff. You bought the game. I forgot the name of the game. You might know, Fatal. It was called Alien Front or something like that. But I had the game. I played it a little bit. Where you could play with PC at the time. That was a pretty dope experience. Also, like they just had, they were always innovators, always in every way, shape, or form. Even with the Genesis, with the activator, the first full motion, using your body for gaming, like the way Kinect worked, even back then. That was a big deal. They had, the VR for the Genesis already ready to go, so you could play even back then. The telescope or lightoscope thing they did for Silent Scope. Remember that game from Konami?
Yeah, that's a good game.
It was called the Minister, I think it was called. They created that shit. They did so many things back then. So many things. I can't remember all of them, obviously, because of it's been a while. I'm not getting any younger. But if my memory serves me right, those are some of the big highlights that they did even at that point. They were doing so many things. They even created the Sega Channel with the Dreamcast. Like what we know today as PSN Network and Game Pass. They started that with Sega Channel as well. Even though I believe there was a version of it in the late 70s, early 80s in television, if I'm not mistaken. It was good. It was called something I forgot, but the ones that did it on mainstream consoles was Sega. When for consoles that were actually mainstream, that were more popular, with the Dreamcast, they actually did that. They did the eye, for the camera. They had the built-in modem. You know what I mean? Like so many things. They had the ability. You had the ability to connect a tuner to watch TV, or even to play DVD disc at the time with the Dreamcast as well. You had to buy it separately, imported or whatever. So there's a lot of beautiful things that came from Sega that everybody thinks it was done now by Sony or by Nintendo for that matter. But that's a whole nother story. But
Hey,
yeah, man, yeah.
hey, Hebot, do you remember this when we had the Sega Saturn? One
Hmm.
time I found it a long time ago at a used store. I think it was a
Yeah.
Saturn Netlink. Be on could that be on computer like what I mean? I think you can go online with it, or it was just called Sega
Yeah, yeah,
Netlink or something
yeah.
like
The
that.
Netlink, yeah, the Netlink, yeah, yeah. I don't remember if it was to play online per se. I think it was, but it was very limited. But I think it was more so that you could have online conversation with people while you played. If I'm not mistaken, like you could actually send emails and stuff like that. But I also think you could play online, but it was very limited. It was only with a set amount of games, if I'm not mistaken. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
But yeah, 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 you're right. The Netlink, I had that too. Just like the satellite. The satellite was what allowed you to play the import games. Remember?
yeah, yeah.
The
I remember.
satellite let you play all import games, and then you had the memory backup RAM, where that
Yeah,
allowed you to play games that needed more memory, that in the arcade needed more memory, like the fighters, like Street Fighter versus Capcom.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
why they were so arcade perfect. That's why they were so arcade perfect on Saturn, because that memory card gave them the ability to add all the rest of the animations, level background, parallax scrolling that it needed, stuff like that,
yeah,
which was great. It was great. Plus, we worked at the backup memory too. If you needed to buy, if you want memory, you could save files and save them into the cartridge. They had that option too, because if you remember, it had that lithium battery where you could actually have internal saving memory, where you didn't need to go get a memory card. It was internal. But the problem with that was, once that lithium battery gave out, your entire memory bank of every game would erase once you had to replace it. That was
wow.
the problem with that. That was the biggest flaw with it. But it would last you a while. Don't get me wrong. That lithium battery lasted me, before I had to change it the first time, I think it was 4 years. The actual
Oh yeah,
four
the
years.
lithium battery in the back. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. That lithium was what gave it the ability to power memory internally, where you could just save, and you didn't have to worry about getting an external memory card or whatever. But once that shit broke, or not broke, died, then all your memory fully erased. So that was that shit was cringe, nightmarish. So that's why it's nice that they brought out extended backup memory card or cartridges that you could put in the back, and that memory cartridge would allow you to save your saves in there, and you wouldn't have to really worry about if the lithium battery died out. You didn't have to worry about it, about your saves getting lost
right.
in
Yeah,
your hours, basically. That was the only thing that they could have, probably fixed or implemented maybe a little bit better. But with like everything else, it was the growing pain. Whenever you try something new, you got to figure it out as you go along. And then you saw that Microsoft just threw in a hard drive in the OG Xbox, and it was a wrap. Built-in hard drive, and you could save, burn your disc CDs with music, and then play your games and have the music in the background with whatever game you wanted. Awesome feature that everybody used to love, and a lot of people didn't even know the OG Xbox had. But that's one of the reasons why it was so big. The OG Xbox had so much stuff in it. They basically took a bunch of computer parts that were laying around from old computers, laptops, and stuff like that were being scrapped at Microsoft, and they were given the opportunity to use them to create a console that was powerful enough to run console gaming like a PC at that time. And that's what they were, the whole goal was. Remember that shit did 1080p or 1080i, being the first console to actually do it. with progressively scanned, interlace, and then not progressively scanned, but interlace. It was 1080i. It didn't do 1080p progressively scanned. It did it interlace, which is 1080i. But still, it was ahead of its time for sure. Ahead of its time. It had even, I think, TTX sound at the time or something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Yeah, but we've been lucky, man. I look back at all these things as far as the gaming space that we've had through the years since me and you started. Guys like us, our brothers like us, and we've been so lucky to see so much things, so much evolution, so many great pieces of hardware and consoles come out, so many different games, games in these consoles. Like, I feel really fortunate and blessed that we, kept supporting the industry so much that it grew and it turned to what it is today. And it's so big and loved now and respected in so many ways. I feel proud of that because we were part of that whole history
Yeah,
and that
man.
whole thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? We were part of the entire evolvement of the industry, and still to today, you're still part of it. It's just unfortunate we got to deal with people that are like, ignorant and don't know how to respect us for all our knowledge and for all the things that we did for gaming. They think that we're just like, oh, you're not important, or you're just, oh, stop playing, when that kind of mindset is just ignorant and flawed, because gaming is for anybody of any age. It's supposed to relax you. It's supposed to, make you feel calm, and it's just something that makes you feel relaxed, and it gives you an ease of mind, and you know what I mean. So the fact that they think that they want to put a number of age on it to say, oh, it's okay for you to play, I think it's kind of silly and asinine at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what he bought. I wanted to tell you. You remember when Xbox said they were going to raise the subscription, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now you remember when they came back and said that they're not going to do it anymore, right?
Okay.
Did you know that people were still trying to act like it never happened, like they still left it at that after they corrected? They were still making videos saying, "Oh, I can't believe Xbox did this," and even after they took
Like,
that back. Isn't that
like they
crazy?
didn't, like they didn't detract. You mean?
Yeah, they act like it was
Yeah,
still
yeah.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Making
Well,
videos.
I mean, it's to be expected. I mean, what do you think if people were allowed throughout the entire generation, right, to
Yeah,
speak on stuff without knowing anything about it, right, and knowing how things are, without giving it the respect, especially with the Xbox One, for example, it's not something that is surprising, right? It's not something that is shocking to a person like myself or like you, because we saw it. We saw it through the old generation, how the Xbox console and the brand got unwarranted hate. It was like when they said, "Oh, it's going to have DRM, right? You're not going to have any rights to your games. You're going to be locked out." And that was all taken out of proportion, obviously, because most people don't even understand how DRM works.
yeah,
And yet, even though they never did it, even before the console came out, it never happened. The console never came out with it in motion, with that in play. It never happened. They didn't. They scrapped it. So forget it. We understand. We heard you. We don't want to make you feel kind of the same way they did with the Xbox Live. We don't want to make you feel upset. We get it. We're going to just do it the regular way. Fine.
yeah,
And then it turned out to be that way anyway. The whole generation turned out to be the way that they knew it was going to be to begin with, right? And the worst part is that most people in the gaming industry that call themselves gamers don't even realize that the DRM started with the PS3 when it came to consoles. It was on the PS3 that it started, right?
right.
But
Yeah,
because it was never talked about. It was never talked about. It was never brought up. So they try to act like it didn't exist. They only try to make it bad when Microsoft was doing it, being transparent, speaking about it. But the one who really pushed that over the top was people like Jeff Keighley, people like the Hip Hop Gamer, Rich
yeah,
Review Tech, Angry Joe, all those guys. Those are the dudes who elevated to another level and made it worse. You understand? Because
Yeah.
they were the ones with the big platforms at the time that everybody followed and listened to. Okay, when the reality was of the DRM was, or the whole logic behind it was to make sure that developers could make some money off used games and not lose out once the game plateaued and stopped selling by having to give you activation codes, for every game that you buy used. And GameStop couldn't rip me off, rip you off, or anybody. They
What's up,
would just
Smitty
have to give
Smith?
fair. They would have
Yeah.
to give fair prices on their used games instead of charging you $55 for a used game that somebody bought yesterday for 65. They gave that person only 25, and then they sold it again for 55 the next day over. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And they
Hmm.
make they made the full profit on it. They didn't share that profit or any type of percentage with the developer. No, that all went to GameStop. You know what I mean? And that was the whole idea behind that DRM. And you saw it never happened. And what happened? The whole generation. I even have people like, even at the end where we were already talking about, say, the Series X, for example, still saying, "Oh, I never bought an Xbox because they don't let you play your games, your used games, because they have DRM." I'm like, "Are you crazy? Like, what rock have you been under all these years? Because that never happened." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it also came, believe it or not, a lot of it also came from the misinformation that people got when they went inside Target, Walmart, Best Buys, GameStop, Toys
Hmm.
R Us, because Toys R Us is still around. They would give people the wrong information. And that is what made it spread like wildfire. And that is ultimately what also helped the PS4 get better sales, because people were
Yeah.
thinking, well, no, the PS4 allows me to play my used games. Okay, the PS4 allows me to play my used games. Xbox doesn't. You know that, and then the fact that it was more expensive, and all that, kept edging itself away, giving it tainting the name and the brand at the time. And like I said, it was media, the people that work at these outlets that will have no responsibility, just talk up their ass without knowing. Till this day, they still do it.
Oh
Till this
yeah.
day, I've seen people trying to say, "Oh yeah, the PS5 is more powerful than the Xbox Series X," or that the PS5 allows you to play your games. When the reality of it is a selected amount of games that they allow you to play. It's not all, and they're only from the PS4, not from PS2 or PS3 or PS1. And that's the idea and the ideologies that they give these people. Like, yeah, no, that's what it is. You can do that, yeah, or that. They don't take away your rights. Xbox does, like, a bunch of lies, a bunch of fallacies and fibs, and just to get that sale for the PlayStation side as opposed to the Xbox side. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty pathetic. But it's the truth. It's what happens. I've seen it firsthand, with my own eyes, all the time. It's not just once or twice, multiple times I've seen it. I don't know if you've seen it. I think you told me that you have, but those type of things is what hurts and gives perception work in one way, not the other. So, it doesn't surprise me that they're doing that, because they want to make sure that they keep Xbox this generation locked down to negativity the way they did with the Xbox One generation.
Oh yeah.
You
Of
see what I'm
course.
saying, Dale?
Of course. Yeah.
That's what they're, and since they know that they've been getting positive press and not negative, it's driving them insane, because they're trying to figure out what can we do to hurt them. That's why you saw, as soon as they announced that shit, there was like fucking maybe 100 articles and videos from all over the place real quick immediately about, "Oh my God, look at it, trying to steal you, trying to rob us, look at this shit, $60 price hike, how dare they," blah, 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 blah. And yet you never heard nobody,
Yeah.
nobody gave the little details, like, guess what? This only applies for new members. This is anybody that was already there and grandfathered in. You're not going to have to pay extra. Also, they're going to add another game monthly for Game Pass. That's why this month you see
Four,
that they
right?
have five games.
5. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
great.
instead of 4. And the reason why was because that was the idea behind it. But now, obviously, it'll probably go back to 4 because they couldn't do what they wanted to do. So that was their way of compensating, compensating the people, which I think is fair. Yeah, like I said, the only thing I think that isn't fair and that they need to change without a shadow of a doubt was that free to play games need to be out of a paywall if it's a free to play game. That's number one.
And
And
that's what
also,
Fatal said. Fatal said, "Hey, right
right,
here, put it right here."
right,
You know?
and also the fact that even some like party chats, like you can have party chats on the PlayStation, and it's not under a paywall. You don't need Xbox Live.
Yeah.
That was also it was like that on the 360. You could party chat without gold. So they need to bring that back as well. If they were to give those features back on top of giving the extra game and not forcing old subscribers to have to pay, I think everything would have been just fine. But the media made sure that, no, how dare you, blah, 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 you motherfuckers, I'll fuck
I
you.
always
Blah,
run
blah,
with
blah.
that.
Yeah.
Always
You want
running with
to
stuff like that. Yeah.
you wanna monopolize, you want to take control of everything, you got money, blah, 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 blah. Without thinking about the whole bigger picture, and then what happened? The PR was a nightmare. The PR was a nightmare because they knew they were getting slandered after all these years, the last 2 years having nothing but positivity. So what ended up happening was they caved in. Okay, we're not doing it. But like I said, be careful what you wish for. They changed it. They killed in. But that does not mean it's not going to start being increased either gradually now every year, or that we'll see sacrifices in other areas. Like we'll get less games, less big sale discounts, or less features, or we'll have to pay for something like if maybe they'll charge us to have Dolby Atmos on the console every month now, or possibly those games from those new acquisitions like Bethesda will not stay exclusive. They'll probably go to PlayStation and Switch just so that they can make up for costs, because it doesn't matter if they make your money. They made their money back already for what they paid in 3 months. They still got to keep buying more studios and paying a lot more money for each of those big AAA games, like Fable, like Forza, like Hellblade, like Project Mira. You see what I'm saying? They got a lot of games like Joanna Dark. They got a lot of games that are going to be expensive because their whole goal is to put nothing but AAA games at least once or twice every month on Game Pass when it comes to their in-house studios. That's their whole goal. That's what Phil said. So you're going to have the little stuff, but they want also at least one or two AAA, which I think is kind of overkill. If you get one AAA a month, it will be more than sufficient because you get other AAAs from other third parties. And then it's just going to make the library harder and harder to ever catch up or even to play any of those games at all because it's just so much. You know what I mean? Right now, I'm to a point where I feel like not even buying no more games because I just have so many games that I never touch and I'm never able to even play them. You know what I'm saying? It's like what the hell? And it's not because I don't want to support.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason why you buy, but it's because it's just so overwhelming. You can never play, not even the ones that I prefer the most, that I want to play the most. I don't even get to play them because there's just so many, So, like I said, like I'm trying to say, it's just one of those things that no matter what, for them to keep those dedicated servers up, for them to make them bigger and grow them so more people could be online and it could sustain it without any issues, that costs money, to add more features to give us every time in the console, that costs money. To keep doing R&D to make the next console that already probably on the works is going to be even more powerful, that costs a lot of money. So they have to find it from somewhere. So the sacrifice will come from somewhere. We will see it. How far, how long, and how soon, that I don't know. And I don't know from where. But I know for a fact, like I said, we will see it. Mark my words. We will see it somehow and somewhere. And that's why, because, you got to sometimes we don't appreciate what we have until we see that we lose it. And then we don't have that greatness or that ease anymore. That's what I said, Phil's not going to last forever. Microsoft's not going to always be the same forever because under different leadership, it's not going to stay the same. So, we are grateful for what we have now, but it's not going to last forever. And when it doesn't last, then what's going to happen? Everybody's going to go back to hating Xbox. You know what I mean? Like it's just It's just stupid and ignorant. If you really think about it, and in the grand scheme of things.
And you know what else is good, Hebot? Now that they put that paywall down, there's a lot of free to play games now that you can play. There's a lot of free games in that, man.
Well, I don't
On the
know.
Xbox side, I believe.
I don't know if the free to play thing even is came into action yet. I don't think they did it yet.
I
I
thought
think
they
they
already
said they're
did.
going. No, I'm not sure. I think they said they're going to do it for sure. They already made the promise that it's coming, but I don't think it's implemented yet. I don't think you could play free to play like with Fortnite and stuff yet. I don't think so.
Because you know, there's all those great games like the Dead or Alive games. What is it? KI, right?
Well, those I don't know for sure if they were ever free to play. Free to play is like Fortnite, Apex. You know what I mean? That they do a lot of the microtransaction shit, and that's how they make their money.
Yeah.
And you could play it online, but without gold. That's basically what they mean with free to play. I believe.
Killer Instincts is not free to play, is it? I thought it was.
Well, it's free to play as far as you downloading it and playing the game itself and checking it out. It's got like a free to play mode. And
I own the game, but I thought it was free.
I mean, I don't know for sure if it's under gold. It might be. Sega Man. Don't get me wrong. It might be. I just don't know. It might be. It might be that you play it without gold. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not really sure.
Like well, you know what? Fatal just said KI is free to play. And he said that but you have to buy the characters in DOA.
Yeah, that I know. You have to buy them. But I don't know if it's that you play it online for free without gold. I think maybe now you would, but I know
You're coming in and out, brother. You're botting a little bit. You hear me?
The way it was designed was supposed to be like that. Like it's paying separate. When you're paying separate, I feel that it's more disruptive because you end up paying way more. Like if you're paying $5 for each character, and there's 20 characters, and you instead of paying 60 or 50 for the whole game, I think you end up spending more long term buying them all separate. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And that's why I don't understand. That's why I never understood why people get upset and paying full price, and if they're paying for microtransactions separately for all the individual items, which you end up spending way more. I never understood that. I never got that. But somehow some people, I guess they like the choice of, I'll just buy it when I have the money. If I don't, then I don't buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can assume and wonder, because it just, to me, it only makes sense, but again, everybody's different. You know how that is. Everybody's different. So,
Well, if they, when they do that, that'll be good though. That knock that paywall down.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with that, because if they don't pay on Nintendo, they don't pay on PC, they don't pay on PlayStation, I think it's the right thing to do for the fan base of Xbox. You know what I mean? I'm not saying necessarily for me, but for the whole fan base that do like free to play, that play them. I don't think they should have to be paying if no one else is. That's not fair at all. That's not fair at all. And and again, they should also implement. They should implement, like I said, party chat for free, because it was like that on 360. So they should bring that back. You weren't obligated to have gold to talk in party chats. So they should bring that back as well. And a lot of people complain, for example, when the Netflix used to be under the paywall, right? But what people fail to understand, that the reason why Netflix was under a paywall on Xbox is because that's how it started. That's how Netflix got its notoriety. That's how it grew. That's how it got bigger. because of every 360 having Netflix on it, and
Yeah.
then you're making a subscription. So by the time PlayStation rolled out, they made it free on their service because they weren't under no clause or contracts with Microsoft like when it first started. Because Netflix is still in its infancy; it had not started yet mainstream. I mean, there was a form of Netflix that you could do on PS2, I believe it was, but it was with a disc, and I think it was only available overseas. But in here in the States, where it actually flourished and was actually unified as an app, was on 360. So obviously, how they were going to pay them, how they were going to make money, they had to put it under the paywall so that Microsoft paid them percentages for having that app there, and vice versa. So that's why it was like that for so long. But you saw when the when the Xbox One came out and the generation started, that's the first thing they took out of the paywall. If you notice, oh, Netflix is no longer under a paywall; it's now available for you as a regular app for free. You don't got to pay it. If you have Gold, you do. If you don't, as long as you have a subscription, you can utilize it right at any
Yeah.
time, which was a very good move, very smart. But that's why they did it that way. And I told people that I was like, it's because the way it was designed on 360, with the infrastructure was under that infrastructure of online for it to be under the paywall. You can't just take it out
Right.
just like that. That's not how that works. So,
Hey, Hebot, have you heard of a game?
taking out.
Hey, Hebot, have you heard of a game that's coming out? I think it's
Which
February
game?
4th called Werewolf: The Apocalypse.
Which game?
It's called Werewolf.
Oh yeah, I saw it. Werewolf: The Apocalypse. Yeah, it looks a lot like the 3D version of Altered Beast on the PS2 that came out in Europe, which I also had imported. It looks a lot like that. There's about a dude,
Okay.
and he turns into a werewolf. Yeah, it looks alright. It doesn't look like mind blowing as far as graphics or, the idea, I guess, or the concept, because we've seen it before. But I think the
Yeah.
approach of how they're doing it, of the concept of that approach of the concept they're trying to do, I do think
Yeah.
it's they're trying to be their own like thing, be original, be fresh. In that sense, yeah, it looks like it has potential. I mean, it plays well and it's fun. I mean, it has a good story and ends up being like good gameplay mechanics too. It could be a hit. I mean, I don't really see a lot of people talking about it,
Yeah.
but I am aware of the game. I'm aware of almost any game that is under the table that people probably wouldn't think of. I could mention a bunch of games. People are like, "Well, I don't even remember that," and I show it to them like, "Oh shit," like that had potential of being really good and were supposed to come out and never even made their way out, to the system. So it is what
And
it is. But yeah.
yeah, you're bringing out a couple more. Like Outsiders. That looks like a good one.
Yeah, that looks like it's gonna be fun. So people can fly. The people who did Bulletstorm and Gears of War Judgment, which still to me is the most underappreciated Gears of all time.
It is.
In my opinion. They have a lot of good history. I mean, also a lot of good history, and they're a pretty talented team in my opinion as well. So yeah, it was like Ninja Theory. They did the combat for the Disney Infinity game. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
The Disney Infinity game with the little statues, kind of like the amiibos.
My son had it.
The combat in that game,
Yeah.
it was Ninja Theory who did it. They used
Yeah,
the same combat structure as the reborn or remastered or rebooted version that they did of Devil May Cry of DMC, which I also like that game. It's another game I like.
You know what, Hebot? I don't know if I'm going to pull the trigger on it. I'm going to see what people think about it first and see some gameplay. But I was thinking about getting that Back 4 Blood because it reminds me of Left 4 Dead.
Well, it's the same people.
Yeah.
The Back 4 Blood for Blood. Yeah, Back 4. I know what you're talking. That was good though. That was good. There was another game too that IGN showed a trailer for just yesterday. I think it was. It's in a zombie apocalypse, but it looks very next gen. It's called I'm trying to remember. I don't know if you saw it, but it looks good. I'm trying to see. Let me see if I can look it up real quick while we're on, so you could see. Darius, ask mom if she can make this accident the day before. That's what it's called.
The day before.
The day before, and the main character is a black guy.
Oh
Which
yeah, I think.
I don't know if you've seen it, but it came out like 2 days ago, a day ago, something like that.
Let me see.
And it looks solid, but
But the day before.
right. It looks solid, but I don't know uh, who's the developer. I haven't checked none of that stuff yet. I don't know if they have a history, if they're new, up and coming. I don't know. Not sure.
What's this game Halo's talking about? I also can't wait for Vampire.
Oh yeah, Masquerade. Vampire, the one they showed in the Xbox show, like first
Oh yeah,
person.
yeah. I forgot who made that.
I forgot the developer at the top of my head, but yeah, I've seen it. It's called Vampire Masquerade, and and it's like it reminds me a lot of what's the name of this game? Remember the game for Dreamcast? It was called Mocking X.
Yeah, Mocking X. That was a good game.
Even though it was Japanese anime, but the look and style of how it plays, it reminds me a lot of that, with obviously more realistic graphics and the vampire, theme and world. But yeah, it looks cool. I would like to try it out too. I'm always for trying out new games. The only thing with me is I'm mad that most of the games coming out for Xbox this year, a lot of them, they're just first-person shooters. There's not really a lot of third-person.
Yeah.
Like we got Crossfire's first person, Halo Infinite is first person. What you call it? Oh my God, the Scorn is first person.
Yeah.
That one, like the Vampire Masquerade, that's first person. I'm trying to remember. There's a bunch of them. I know that a lot of them coming out. Oh, Bright Memory Infinite, that's first person.
Yeah.
That's why I'm more excited for something like the Medium or even the Gunk, because they're in third person perspective, or It Takes Two, things like that. That's why I'm more excited for those games, because I feel like kind of burnt out already with first person. We had to do Eternal. They had the other one that recently came out too, that was also first person. I'm trying to remember the name of it again. Resident Evil is going to be in first person again, part 8 or part 7, whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel first person out, so to speak. But obviously I'll still play them and try them out. Like I'm looking forward to that that game Eden something that came out, that's from Front Software, that's supposed to be coming out. I forget what it's called, and I definitely like that one they showed that's an RPG from the guys who did Black Desert.
Yeah,
that looks amazing. It looks a lot like a Dragon's Dogma, but I forgot the name of it. They showed the trailers a few months back. That looks incredible. That supposedly comes out this year. They showed it at the Game Awards. I don't know if you remember. Or they show a guy he gets on top of the dragon, and he's wielding the dragon.
Yeah.
It looks a lot like Dragon's Dogma a lot. Looks like a lot like that.
I seen that. Yeah.
That game. Those are the people who did Black Desert. That game looks incredible. That game looks incredible.
Fatal. Fatal said the Medium is a really good if you like old school Resident Evil.
Oh yeah, that's what I keep hearing. That's what my son was telling me. He said, "I don't understand why people are hating on the game. If all people kept saying we love Resident Evil, old school style, and Silent Hill with the camera fix and with the way the gameplay is a lot more slower pace and things like that." So he was telling me, I don't get it. Why would they get hate towards it if the game is hitting on all cylinders in that department? He says it feels very old school with the modern take, and it plays well and it feels eerie and atmospheric. He was telling me that when he was talking about it, like I told him, what do you think about the game so far? Because he's playing it, but I haven't been able to. And
Yeah.
that's what he was telling me. He was letting me know. He's like, "Oh, I like it." It's like Blair Witch. A lot of people didn't like Blair Witch, and they did Blair Witch, and Blair Witch was actually a really, really good game. Just like Observer. Observer was really good with Rutger Howard. They did that. Layers of Fear, Part 1 and 2.
Layers of
They
Fear,
did
yeah.
that as well.
Yep.
Layers of Fear. They did 1 and 2. That was them as well. So, they have the potential. If you notice, from every game that they've done from that going up, they just gotten better and better and better, which is one of the reasons why I did that video the other day on my channel, because they have the potential to grow and be really, really high tier as a developer, because that's their small Poland studio, and they don't have the manpower, the money, the resources, or the backing. And look how much they've done so far. So, with the Microsoft type of backing and money, and that they can help them grow internally, and they can become really a force to be reckoned with. But it's like the guys who did Outlast. Outlast was a great game. 1 and 2, I like them too. And they're really not being talked about anymore.
Outlast?
I'm looking forward to trying them. Yeah, Outlast. You like horror movies, so I know you would like Outlast. You played Outlast, right?
Outlast 1 and 2.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good one that's coming out this year. That's first person, Shadow Warriors 3.
Yeah.
They have 1 and 2 on Xbox right now too.
I like those kind of games.
Yeah. Big time. That game is awesome. The slapstick comedy alone is great. It reminds me a lot of Big Trouble in Little China with Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that style.
I played them a couple times. Games a couple times after I beat them. They were just that fun.
Oh, yeah. The first one was remastered from the PC. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then the second one looked gorgeous. Wish they would have done an Xbox One patch for it, like to make it so you could play it in 60 frames and with 4K textures or whatever, or resolution. But they didn't. But the second one looked good. Now 3 looks, forget it. It looks insane. It looks incredible.
Yeah, so we got a lot coming up lineup this year.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. You know what's messed up? Well, I understand why, but I'm kind of upset. But I understand why. That new Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the one for the Genesis that they're doing, the remaster for the Nintendo Switch, it's exclusive just to the Switch. But I understand why they're doing it, because we're getting Pragmata on next gen consoles, right?
Yeah.
And I think the game's going to be too demanding, where you won't be able to play it on a Switch. So it's going to be only for like PS4, 5, and Xbox Series X and S, right?
Yeah.
So because they're not getting that game, they gave them that game, But I really wish that we were getting it. I gotta actually pre-order it because it comes out February the 23rd. The game. And also, remember, they also gave them that other game from Capcom. I forget the name of it, where you're a scuba diver under the water. You're like a marine scuba diver on the water, and you're under the water all the time with scuba gear, and you discovering these, relics and ancient things and creatures. And it's like an action puzzler with a little bit of action, but it's a beautiful looking game. I just wish that it was in high res, because you could tell, you could see like the discrepancies, like the low resolution in the game, a lot of jaggies, a lot of pixel breakups. I wish that it was in high res, like, in 4K. I think it would look gorgeous, but I don't think it's ever coming to Xbox or PlayStation, because it's an exclusive to the Switch. And it's been there the whole time. I forgot the name of it. I gotta remember the name so I can tell you. I have the game though. I should do a gameplay of it one night so people could see it. Because I don't even think people are aware of it, to be honest with you. That came out like maybe 2 years ago, something like that. I want to say it came out, maybe 2 years. You know what it feels a lot like? A little bit slower version of. Remember that game that came out for 360 that is back compat, where you're a scuba diver, Undertow, I think it's called.
Oh yeah. That was a beautiful
game.
That,
huh? Yeah. That they're underwater and you're a scuba diver and you fighting. It's almost like that, but a lot slower pace and a lot more platforming. Instead of like that one feels more like shooter action, and this one's more like a platformer and slower pace. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like that type of style of game, which I really thoroughly enjoyed. So far. So
Hey Hebot, before we go, man, I heard that Sea of Thieves got a performance boost of 120 frames per second.
Which one?
At 1080p.
Which one?
Sea of Thieves, 120.
Oh yeah. It's official. That's official.
Oh, that's incredible.
Official. Yeah. They did it with you can play 4K and 120. I gotta try it because none of my TV supports it. So I have to try.
Yeah. You have 120 hertz, right?
Yeah. With the Vario VRR refresh rates.
Yeah.
I have it on the Vizio because originally it was bugged out, like it was buggy, it wasn't working. But they did a patch and now it works. But it still has like a bug where, for example, when sometimes the games load up too fast, or when the games load and then take a little while to load, when it comes on screen, it looks like showery. So I have to go back into the input, change the input to another input, and then go back and then get back to normal. Because it wouldn't let you do it with the HDR on, but now it does. You could have the HDR on and while you're running it in 4K 120. So that's the only problem. But they fixed it, and so far, better than what it was, obviously. So now I can do that. I could play like I'm playing. I was playing the one with the Star Wars with the jet planes, Rogue Squadron, I think it is.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron. It's a good
the
game.
new one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
But I started playing in 4K with the 120 on the Series X. I started playing that.
How's it? Looks pretty good.
It just makes everything look super duper smooth. Like when you look at the game, it looks so smooth that you see like it almost looks like clay that it looks so smooth when it's in 120. Yeah. And I guess, and the way it feels is where you really can tell. Like it's the way it feels. Like when you're playing it, it feels so responsive. So it just feels really smooth. But when you look at it, visually it's hard to see, but it's got like a really smooth look to it. I don't know how to explain it. It's almost like nothing looks jaggy. Everything just looks like butter and cream. Like it looks smooth. It's really hard to explain.
I'd have to see it.
When you see it, you'll definitely understand what I mean. You're like, now I know exactly what Hebot was talking about. Because, you try to explain to people, because I got people who are saying, 4K is not a big deal. That shit is no big deal. I don't know why people even talking on it. It's not a big deal. Who cares? And they don't even have 4K TVs. They're still playing 1080p. Like they don't have no clue what it is.
Same to me.
And that gets me upset because I'm like, how are you going to downplay something, right? That you have no clue what you're talking about because you don't have it. If it was like when people say, Dolby Atmos is not big, it's not a big deal. When you hear Dolby Atmos with a real surround sound that supports it, you're going to know it's a big deal. And you're going to know it's a big difference because it's something that you got to see it and experience it to understand it. You can't just be like, because I see a lot of guys do videos. It's not really a big deal. I can't tell the difference. I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh, no, yes, you can. Yes, you can. The thing is that they don't want to give it credit because that movement was started by Microsoft on consoles. You see what I'm saying? So, because Microsoft started that movement of having gaming on 4K with Dolby Atmos, HDR 10, and HDR Vision, Dolby Vision. Now, it's not a big deal. But you see, as soon as Sony said the PS5 was going to do it and have a 4K player, you start seeing motherfuckers, I can't wait. I'm gonna get me a 4K collection. I'm gonna start it off now. Blah 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 blah. When we've been doing that all for the
Yeah.
last 8 years, last generation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those things that it's a double-edged sword because if it's as long as Microsoft introduces it, it's no big deal. They try to put it under the rug. The minute that it's introduced either by Nintendo or by Sony, then they try to make a big deal out of it. Like, yeah, now it's when it counts. Now it's when it matters. This don't matter. It was like the OG. The OG was doing 1080i way back then, while the PS4 or 2 was doing what 480p or 480i, and then you could do a progressively scan if you turned it on, and it was only supported by some games, and that shit was hysterical. Like you can't when you look at the games and you see the difference in quality and image, it's like day and night. I used to put them side by side. Remember when I would do my side by side comparisons, which I should start doing more of because I still have my TVs, obviously. The only thing is I wish I had 4K TVs as opposed to 1080 to show it better. But you can tell, like you see it, it's completely blatant when you look at it. It's like, wow, the quality in the image just there's no even comparison. It's the same thing when you see something in 1080p and in 4K. You can tell immediately, like, damn, that shit looks crisp. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what get me mad because I feel a lot of these clowns will be like, it's not a big deal. Then you ask for what you're playing. Oh, I got a 1080p TV or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't need a 4K TV. I got a 1080p. Oh, of course you're gonna say you don't need it because you haven't seen the difference. You don't know. You see what I'm saying?
That's right. In my opinion, he bought.
Yeah,
it's a shame he bought. In my opinion, real quick. In my opinion, you can get a 4K TV right now. They're very affordable.
Oh yeah, but you got to remember, it's not just the fact that it supports 4K. You got to make sure that it has a good panel, right? What kind of panel it has, meaning the screen that displays it, right? You got to make sure that it has good contrast. You got to make sure that it has good features like HDR10 or HDR12. You got to make sure now that it has the VR support, the right HDMI ports, that it supports 120 frames in games, not just movies. You got to make sure of the how the burning is, how the latency is. There's so many things that come with buying a TV that people need to try to educate themselves before they buy it. Because a lot of people be like, well, how? Like right now, I'm selling a Vizio that I have 55-inch, right? It's a quantum dot TV, right? A Q quantum dot, QLED, liquid enhanced definition with quantum dot technology. It supports Dolby Vision and it supports 4K native, right?
Yeah.
Now, the only thing that doesn't support is the VRR, right? At 120. I can't even use this TV because I have a lot of old consoles. So I have to keep my older TV because it has S-Video, VGA, component, which is the red, blue, and green. This one doesn't. This one is just straight up HDMI and coax. That's it. So I have to sell it. I paid for the TV about $800 when I first got it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's concurrently right now still like at $700. I'm trying, and remember, it's 55 inches. It's not small. It's big. I'm trying to sell it for $450. I'll even take 420, 430, even 400. If somebody gives it to me, I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
And motherfuckers are trying to argue with me, saying, I could get the same size video in Walmart for $400 right now, and it's the same size, brand new. I was like, yeah, because you're getting an older model that doesn't support all the actual brand new technology that support on the 4K machines and on the consoles. So you're going to be getting a version of 4K, but it's limited to HDR10 maybe. Maybe it doesn't have HDR at all. It doesn't have high contrast. It doesn't have any panel that supports better colors and better blacks. It doesn't have high contrast. You see what I'm trying to say? And then you explain that to them, and then they look at you like, yeah, you're just giving me the runaround. You're just bullshitting because you want me to buy it from you. You're trying to take me for a sucker. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I hate dealing with people, because unless you're tech savvy, you do not understand what you're buying. People just think because they see a TV and it's $100 and it's 40 inches, that's a good buy. No, it's a good buy, yeah, for a casual person that doesn't care, that just watches TV. Most people that have TVs, they're not even utilizing the full potential of their TVs because they don't understand how to run it correctly and what image qualities and the differences. They don't know how to do it. But if somebody went in there and actually taught them and showed it to them and showed them the difference from how they have it to how they could have it running at the highest quality, then they'll be like, oh shit, they'll see the difference. And it's a shame because most people don't. You know how many of my neighbors I had to go to the house with TVs like that they bought for $1,300, like expensive, running that shit in 420p. Then I had to go and show them the difference. And once they saw the difference, they're like, holy shit, I didn't even fucking know all this time I'm watching this. I was like, yeah, because you have to know what the TV's offering you. But to sit there and try to act like, oh yeah, this is good because it's this price and it's just, and it's just this size, that's not how it works. But you are absolutely right. We live in an era where you can get a nice comparable 4K TV for a very good price.
You want for $100? Just to have a 4K TV, 150.
Just to have a 4K TV. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And that's that's why I said that they're just full of shit because nobody sells 1080. Listen, if you see a 1080p TV right now selling, it's a miracle because you don't see that no more. Only the little ass 20 and 30 inch TVs, they're like 1080p and 720p. Because they don't really sell those and with the high-end quality because they're expensive. Like a 4K little TV monitor, TV that's like, let's say 30 inches, let's say for example, right, as an example, that shit can cost more than a 55 inch. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's expensive to compress the technology and make it on smaller panels. That's why those computer monitors are so damn expensive. My son just bought a computer monitor to support the VRR. It does 1440p with VRR. So the highest resolution he gets is 2K with the fucking variable refresh rate. And he got it from Dell. And that shit cost him $450. And it's only a 27-inch monitor.
Jeez.
It's 27-inch. 27-inch. Bro,
that's
27
crazy.
Inch. And that's what I'm trying to, if people don't know, they don't educate it in it. So we kind of have to educate them so they understand. Because if you don't, then they're never going to, you know what I'm trying to say? They're never going to realize why things are the way they are as far as pricing and things of that nature.
Hey, Hebot, before we sign out, let's answer Fatal's question. He says, I wish the new consoles came with DisplayPort 1.4 as well.
DisplayPort consoles came with, what was that? With DisplayPorts of what?
He says, I wish the new console came with DisplayPort 1.4 as well.
Well, oh yeah, I know, but they're supposed to downscale, Fatal. According to what Microsoft said, if you put the HDMI, even if it's 2.0 and 2.1, if the TV only supports 1.4, because I tested it on my OLED with the Xbox, it will downscale to 1.4.
Oh, that's cool.
That just means it's running the image to that HDMI at a lower bandwidth speed. It does support it.
Yeah. All right, he bought
I don't know if you knew that, but
what does he say? T Reaper. Let's get T Reaper. What's up, T Reaper?
Hey T, what's going on, puppy?
He said, and that's their loss. He bought. Good show, guys.
Well, look, right now I haven't been able to see none of the activities on the screen because on my phone, the screen, it froze when we were 33 minutes into the show.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at a frozen screen. I don't even know what's going on. How long was it on? Did it say?
We've been on about an hour and a half, man. But we're gonna get out of here.
Oh wow! You see, every time I come in, I make you stay here till the next day. You see?
Hey man, tell people where they can find you, brother Hebot.
Yeah, guys, like always, always a pleasure to be here with my brother in Game Talk with Sega Man. Um, Exclusively here. I'm always here with him, or I try to be every Saturday because I'm always, since I'm out and about, I'm able to pop in while I'm driving, while I'm doing things, because he's the one hosting the show. So it makes it more easy and accessible for me. So I appreciate you for that, Sega Man. And you can find me on my channel, obviously on YouTube. I'm HeBot. Been throwing out more content. I'm gonna try to do a playthrough of Balan tonight, and I'm gonna do a haul video of my latest Transformers for my action figure fans, and I'm gonna do a little video announcement of a giveaway I'm gonna do for an action figure giveaway on my channel. If you people can help me, hit 850 and 900 subs, maybe I'm gonna try. Because
Nice.
I finally reached 802, I think it is. um,
I hear
so
you.
just because that'll help me be able to do live streams and stuff like that. If you hit that 1,000 mark, that's the only reason why I want to get like 1,000 subs. Because you can do live streams, you could get a little bit of money from the stuff you do, and that way you can put it back to the channel and do more giveaways. You know what I mean? Make it just a little bit easier. That's the only real reason. But other than that,
I'm definitely going to start doing that as well.
it doesn't. Me other than that. So yeah, so you can find me there. We can find me when I do We Got Next, which I'm gonna try to do this week. It just depends how much gaming news there is. If there's a lot of gaming news that came out, I'll probably do one this week. If not, I'll just wait till next week. Because then there's not really there's no sense of me doing a show when I do one here with Sega Man, then we do the Exile and so many other people doing shows, just basically talking about the same topic over and over again. Unless it's a topic that people want to hear my opinion from, that's different. And you guys can find me on Twitter under HeBot, Powerful Gamer, Instagram, I'm under C_respect. As always, on Xbox Live, I'm HeBot8. On the Switch, I'm HeBot8. On PlayStation, I'm Alfell from Sky, all one word, all lowercase. And, you can find me sometimes on Intro Media with 100 and his podcast, whatever he's doing. That's pretty much it so far. So, I hope you guys come and check it out, because I'm going to have a couple videos up hopefully by tonight and tomorrow. So, try to put content you guys can watch and enjoy. And like always, thank you for having me, my brother.
No problem, man. And before we go, let me give some shout outs to Matthew.
Yes.
Caliber Killer, another new guy that came in here. Graphic God, Fatal.
That's right.
Who we got? Kima.
Nice.
Mo was here. Slick Slayer was here for a little bit.
Nice.
And what's this? Patrick? Patrax? He was here.
Mm-hmm. Matthews. I know Matthews too.
Matthews. Smitty Smith.
Smitty Smith. Hey, we gotta get Dakota in here, man. We gotta get Dakota on here. What's going on?
Vodka, yeah.
We gotta get Vodka in here. What's going on?
And we're gonna have to talk to him.
I'm gonna have to coerce him. I'm gonna have to buy him some type of drink. Get him to come on here, because
give a shout out to Mr. Kima.
He always shows the love and support. Mr. Kima is a true Xbox supporter, a true gaming supporter of the whole gaming community, man.
Give a shout out to T Reaper. He was in here.
Oh, T Reaper, yeah. I haven't seen him doing much, man. Our buddy T.
He's out there though.
our buddy T.
And then let's see. Come and join us tomorrow on the Exile podcast. Tomorrow on the podcast it's about Dreamcast. Come and check us out.
I think I'm gonna line up some games. To show them on camera. Some of the hidden gems that I may have, or that Sega Man may have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Shout out to the Graphic God. He was in here.
Yeah. Always. I gotta finish my interview with my man, Graphic God. Jesus Christ, I'm so behind.
It's Got No Games at 11:30 p.m. Intro Media Gaming.
Yeah, it's tonight. That's right. That's tonight. Check it out. They always have a good time, and you can have a laugh with them over there.
Oh yeah, definitely. You can always find me on my YouTube channel at Sega Man 101 and also on Twitter.
Right, right.
Multiply. Peace, everybody. Be safe and wear your mask.
That's right. Wear your mask. Take care, guys.
Peace.
Bye. Peace.